Alright, here we go. Episode 8 of our Oathsworn series. We're going to be painting the Exile here. Nothing too crazy. A lot of stuff, a lot of skin we got to do. But first off, we want to thank our YouTube members, as always, because you guys are absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you do and all of your awesome contributions to help make this channel possible. If this is the first time at the channel or you're a returning lurker, maybe a first-time caller, long-time listener, hit that subscribe button. What do you got to lose? Nothing. Hit it. And without further ado, let's go. Alright, and as I have said in previous videos, I'm gluing my stuff together. I'm scraping off all the mold lines, and then I'm picking which ones I want because I do have the Armory add-on, and I'm gluing those on just to keep it permanent, except for the base. I'm not gluing the feet to the base. After that, we're going to spray this whole thing down with some black primer. I'm using Vallejo, but you can use spray paint, whatever you want to use. Next, we're going to do a nice little dry brush when we are completely dry with Mechanicus Standard Gray or a neutral gray, whatever you have. It doesn't make a difference, just as long as it's a gray color. Alright, we're going to be doing the first and longest part first. That's going to be painting the skin. The skin is going to take you a while to do. We're going to do probably 2 to 3 coats. They're going to be thinned out, of course. Once you paint an area, just let it dry and then come back to it once you're done painting everything else. You want the area that you just painted to repaint dry before you do it, or else it will look kind of meh. You'll notice a difference, trust me. Next, for all of our bone areas, we're going to take some Morghast Bone and just go over all of them. Again, probably 2 coats on this. You want a little bit of that gray to stick through, so you don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it as well. For all of our metal areas, we're going to be taking some of that Leadbelcher, and we're going to be hitting that. Now, you got a lot of buckles and little loops and stuff that we're going to be doing, but mostly it's going to be the axes and on your knees along with your boot area. Next, for the leather areas, we're going to take some Mournfang Brown, and we're going to hit all of them. Again, take your time. Don't try to overdo it. Put on some good music, a book, or whatever you're listening to, and enjoy the paint. For all of our fur areas, we're going to take some of that Wraithbone and we're going to hit all of the fur, so that includes the boots, on top of the shoulders, and some on the back. For our shoulder pads, we're going to take some Steel Legion Drab and hit that. For our pouch and a little bit of the belt and some on the boots, we're going to take some of that Rhinox Hide and hit that up real quick. For the brass areas, we're going to use some Runelord Brass. There's some on the top of the belt areas, I guess you could say, and then on the bottom portion as well. For our axe wooden areas, we're going to take some XV88. And we're going to come back to that Rhinox Hide and hit up those leather areas on the axe, holding it to the, I guess, hilt. We're going to go back to our Leadbelcher and we're going to hit up our raised button areas on our pouches and some onto our feet and other areas. For the hilt of our handle of our axe, I guess you could say, we're going to use some Sigvald Burgundy. For the tongue of the mouth, we're going to use some Screamer Pink. Now, working on the eyes, this is probably the most difficult portion. We're going to take some Abaddon Black and we're going to put it on the back liner of our orbital area of our eye. Next, we're going to take some pure white, hit our teeth, and then we're going to hit our white pupil area for our eyeball. Now, this is a pre-context paint because we're going to paint over it with a wash here in a moment, so this really doesn't mean a whole lot. We're going to take some black Templar and we're going to hit our hair with that as well. Along with our eyebrows. For our cape, we're going to use some Basilicanum Grey. Now, you can let this dry, and then you can do it again if you want, but it does make that gray really stick through, and it actually looks pretty decent. For all of our skin areas, we're going to take some Reikland Fleshshade and we're going to put that onto our skin areas. For all of our fur metal areas, we're going to use some of the Nuln Oil. Don't be shy with this, but don't go overboard. Nice balance on this. For all of our bone areas, to include all of our leather areas as well, we're going to use some of that Agrax Earthshade as well. All right, once your miniature is completely dry, we're going to start working up our highlights. Now we're going to do a basic reapplication of Cadian Fleshtone. And again, we're not going to go over the entirety of the skin. This is going to be somewhat tedious. We're going to probably do 2 to 3 layers of this, but we're going to be working on the raised areas of all of our flesh areas. So follow along with the video and make sure you just take your time on this. Don't rush this step at all. Next, we're going to do a 50-50 mix of Kislev Flesh and Cadian Fleshtone, and we're going to go over the same exact areas we just did. Again, 2 to 3 layers of this, and you're really building up those highlights. Do not getting into the recesses at all. You're just really getting into those nice, easy spots. Alright, for our last highlight, we're going to take some Kislev Flesh, and again, we're just working on those raised areas, really working on the bridge of the nose, the forehead, the cheekbones, the pectoral muscles, some of the top of your quadriceps, your fingers, the knuckles, all that stuff, really working on that. Again, less is more on this color, and about 2 coats of this. Once you are ready, hit that first layer with Tyrant Skull. We're doing this all over our bone areas. This is going to make it look very old and rustic without having to put too much effort. This is going to save a lot of time because we're going to do this layer and then we're going to do the next layer here in a second. Now make sure you're using a very small dry brush on this. I'm using a very small makeup brush, and I'm doing it very lightly, taking my time on this. I don't want to get this on the skin, and I surely don't want to get this on the metal or anything else. But we're also going to use this same color a little bit on the boots here in a second, as you'll see. All right, we're going to retake that white, and then we're going to make our pupils again. Be very, very careful with this. Do not overdo this. Once you are done with that, hit with some black in the middle just to make your black pupils. Again, less is more on this. All right, we're going to use some Ushabti Bone. We're going to use this on our fur areas. We're also going to use this on our boots. You could have used the last color, but this is what I'm using on the boots for right now. This is going to give it that nice worn out, rustic type of look, like the leather has been through the dockwood and back. If you know what I mean and you're playing the game, you know exactly what I mean. As the sun creeps in on our hero, we are going to be using some Necron Compound on all of our metal areas. Again, using a small dry brush, don't overdo it. Less is more. We're going to touch up our brass areas with our Runelord Brass. Again, you can use a brighter brass if you want. I just went back with the original color. For metal rings, we are using some Runefang Steel on there just to brighten it up just a little bit. For our leather areas, we're going to take some of that Doombull Brown and brighten them up just a little bit. Nothing too crazy here. And to go over our originally burgundy color, we're going to use some Gorthor Brown. Nice little coloration right there. Now that we're done with the main model, we're going to take some Dawnstone and we're going to put it onto our base, followed by Praxeti White here in 1 second. Using some Cygor Brown, we're going to get that into the cracks just to make it a little bit more extra dirty. Followed by some Wyldwood on our tree roots. And some Militarium Green on the base. Besides the rocks, you do not want to hit those rocks. Hit the rim of that base with some Abaddon Black, and we are finished, because that's the best part of painting the miniature, because that means you're done. Not too shabby right there. Pretty decent for a miniature that had a lot going on with it, so I'm pretty proud of it. We didn't put too much crazy time into it, but we made it look decent enough to go on the table. Thank you so much for watching this. I want to thank all my YouTube members, my subscribers, people who just generally watch it. Leave a comment below. Send me a picture on my Instagram at nerd.nights. I like to see all your guys' paint jobs. I got a ton of pictures. Thank you. And I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.